May the words of my mouth
Yes.
and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord,
Yes.
my strength and my Redeemer. We want to thank Celia and each of you for this opportunity to speak again. We were here approximately 3 weeks ago. Approximately 3 weeks ago.
You're off again.
You probably could hear me without the mic. So if the mic goes off again, I will continue to speak.
All right, that's good.
A few housekeeping things I'd like to share. Whenever we have an opportunity to speak on topics of unity, I want you to know that I am in this with you.
Yes.
I am in the same boat. I am in the same consciousness. So I am listening also, and I'm asking continuously, Spirit, allow me to embody this information and apply it.
There you go.
Because after all is said and done today, it's about application, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Or nothing changes. The context that we will be speaking from today is Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and I shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it. Now I have some words here, and words tend to convey thought. If I have a thought right now, and I didn't convey it in words, you think, that's a long meditation. And he must be expecting us to read his thoughts. So we have thoughts and we convey them with words. Here's another quote from Scripture. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh. We could have said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word became Cecilia. Couldn't we say that?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's some words. Father, Mother, God, Infinite, Cause, Source, Spirit, Consciousness, Awareness, Root, Thought, I am. Now each of these words attempt to convey an idea. This is simple, and this is some foundation work we like to start before we get into the meat of this. Now the Father is our conscious thought. We think thoughts. And the Mother receives those thoughts and then will eventually give birth, bring forth a manifestation of the original thought. This is not hard. How many of you looked in the mirror this morning? And you look great. And if you looked in the mirror, physically speaking, we're all adults here, so your father impregnated your mother and brought forth, gave birth to you.
That's right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. Now, on the spiritual plane and on the psychological plane, the father-mother principle, the father, conscious thought, impregnates subconscious mind and brings forth a manifestation. Here's an example. When we were babies, I know I can recall when I was a baby, the jars of Gerber baby food. The carrots were pretty good. The green peas didn't smell that good. Remember the green peas? Now, those of you who like to visit Pea Soup Anderson, it's a little bit different than green peas in the Gerber bottles. But remember the spoon, and we were spoon-fed? And our parents did a good job. They didn't put the peas in our hair, right?
Right.
No, we did that.
We did that.
Yeah.
So what was happening at that time, the parents were being great models,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And eventually, we could take the spoon and feed ourselves. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now you can feed yourself without thinking. So what happened, the initial thought of feeding myself with a spoon is now subconscious.
Yes.
And I can go on and on and on feeding myself with a spoon. Make sense?
Yes.
So the father, feed yourself with a spoon, impregnated the mother, now I can do it subconsciously. Tying our shoes. At one time, well, I have on slip-ons. At one time, it was a difficult tying a knot in our shoes. Remember that?
Yeah.
But pretty soon, I'm going to do this. I'm going to tie this shoe, and it's not going to be in a knot. And now, look, it's just pretty easy. Make sense?
Yep.
So the initial thought has become subconscious. You don't have to think about it. The mother-father principle is the twofold creative principle of I am. Now I want you to share with me some things that you have done that you no longer have to think about. Just share them.
Drive.
Drive.
Read.
Read.
Pray.
Yes, pray. Becomes automatic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But initially we had to go to the DMV.
That's right.
No, actually what some of us did, I'm self-disclosed, late at night or early in the morning, we took our parents' automobile.
Without them knowing it.
And we didn't recognize all the possibilities that could happen. Fortunately, most of us got back home and the car was at least in one piece. Okay? Reading. Probably around first grade, many of you kindergarten, you begin to learn the alphabets, the vowels, how to conjugate words, and now we read. Prayer. It's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process. But with conscious thought, we drive, we read, and we pray. And for all of you, those things now are second nature, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to repeat this with me. I am one with God's greatness.
I am
one with God's greatness.
I am one with God's greatness.
I am one with God's greatness.
I am one with God's greatness.
I am one with God's greatness.
Now that's conscious thought. Now what's going to happen as we continue to repeat that? The mother will accept it. Take it to full term, and then we will begin to experience God's greatness.
Yes.
It's conscious first, it becomes subconscious, the mother receives it, and we're going to give birth to God's greatness. Well, God's greatness is here all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
But sometimes we neglect it.
Yep.
And we give birth to less than.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same process. God is everywhere, correct?
Yes.
Right.
I am is everywhere, correct? So imagine, for drama purposes, I am that I am. Just imagine that for a moment. And I'm in conversation with Celia. And I say, I am. It sparks up, okay, whatever comes next, that's what he's going to get.
Uh-huh.
I am, he says, okay, what's coming next? Because whatever he says next, that's what he's going to get. one with God's greatness. Yes,
Yes.
I am. He wakes up. Okay, what is this human being about to say next? Because I'm going to give it to him. I'm peace. Yes, you are. I am. Not enough. Yes, you are. It's just waiting. So, okay, whatever comes next, I'm going to give it to him. I am judgmental. Yes, you are. Whatever comes after I am, we receive. We give birth to it. And sometimes it doesn't have to go through 3 trimesters to give birth to it. The day of judgment is right now. Whatever I put after I am, I become. That's the day of judgment. Not 200 years from now when people are going to come out of the graves. It's right now.
Yeah.
Right here.
Right this minute. So every moment we may give birth to our own day of reckoning. What do you put behind I am? Who do you say I am? Whoever you say I am, that's your day of judgment. When I say I am divinely guided in all of my ways, this is my Father, consciousness speaking. The mother hasn't accepted it yet. I'm just saying it out loud. As I repeat it, as I continue to have spiritual intercourse, I'm going to impregnate my mother with I am divinely guided in all of my ways. She receives it, brings forth a child, a manifestation, a condition, an environment in the image and likeness of being guided in all of my ways. It's a birthing process. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, I heard what Gregory said just now. And so now I am allowing Spirit to work through me to help me apply this. I'm in this with you. I'm not just talking about it. I'm in this with you. Who do you say I am? It's okay to be content, but not complacent. If I look back at my patterns, and some of the patterns I don't prefer, I may not want to be content with those patterns. Now, the title of the lesson was Living from Within Out. Look at your life right now. Look at some of the patterns that you have developed. Choose a pattern that you would like to change. We all have them. I think a challenge for metaphysicians is that often we think, I can say this and not work. Or I can say this and presto, all of the patterns have been removed. No, this takes work. This takes ongoing impregnation. We're adults.
That's right.
This is ongoing spiritual intercourse that has to take place. If not, we'll continue to give birth to children, to manifestations that we want to go to the adoption agency. And what's interesting about these children that we give birth to, we can, even if they no longer serve us, we can justify them. Because this is my child. It no longer serves me, but I love it. And it hangs around to be fed. Some of these children love negativity. So I will continue to feed them because they're my children, and I dare you suggest that I remove them.
Yes.
I just heard what Gregory said again. That's my. So look at our patterns and decide, are there some patterns I would like to abort, and then reestablish other patterns by using the power of I am. Right there. Sometimes we take it for granted, don't we?
Yep.
I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I'm getting old. Cancel, delete. Don't we use those terms sometimes? I am waking up this morning with spirit on my mind. I am living throughout this day with spirit on my mind. So I am, okay, what's next? Walking with spirit on my mind. Yes, you are. It never fails. The challenge is, do we look back and say, I like what I don't prefer? And then all of that rushes. I am says, yes, you may have what you said you didn't prefer. Because those are our children. Sometimes children need to be kicked out of the nest, don't they? If you have children and they're 45 and they're still living in your house, it's time for a change. He says, I make all things new. Baby, I love you, but it's time for you to find another place to dwell. You're 45 years young. So those things that we've given birth to that are still hanging around and they've really worn out their welcome, you decide and say, baby, I love you. It's time to go. Now this is very personal because each of us have children. Each of us have these challenges, don't we? How many of you are familiar with Emmett Fox? All of us. Master. We can stand on his shoulders. Emmett Fox shared that the father is knowledge and the mother is feeling. He also suggests that metaphysicians sometimes have garages full of knowledge, but they don't feel it.
That's right.
Yes.
I want to feel it in my bones, in my entire central nervous system. Sometimes we're not giving birth to or manifesting things because we're saying it without feeling. We're adults. And sometimes to impregnate, you have to have feeling.
That's helpful.
Thank you. We have to be definite with the infinite. So decide what you want, define it, then declare it. Be definite, decide, define, and declare. This side of the room, I would like you to say health, happiness, and love.
Health, happiness, and love.
On this side of the room, I would like you to say success, prosperity, and money.
Success, prosperity, and money.
Health, happiness, and love.
Success, prosperity, and money.
Now that was merely a verbalization. We have to feel it. This is how it might sound in your car. I am health, happiness, love.
Yes, yes.
Success, prosperity, and money. Now, if you're holding on to the steering wheel, you probably should not let go. When you're holding on to the steering wheel and you're repeating what you want to give birth to, you should not care what someone else thinks about what you're doing.
That's right.
Oh, I can't do it. Because what are they going to think? I am health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Your central nervous system, whatever you have to do to feel it. If you have to health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Now you know your central nervous system responds. An example, how many of you have watched a movie and someone was jumping out of a window and then when they hit the ground, it hurt for you too?
Yep.
Vicariously. Ow! Oh, it's a movie.
That's going to leave a mark.
Yes. So what we can do, knowing about vibrations, thank you for the bold vibrations, they're still circulating. That was awesome. You can set up your own experiment. Decide what you want, define it, and declare it. If you want health, I am health.
Yes.
I am says, okay, what's coming next? Health. Yes. I am happy. Don't walk around like this. I'm going to wait for happiness. No, happiness now. If you want love, say, I am love. It's better to give than
To receive.
but you cannot give without receiving. What does this sound like? You are love. When I tell this fine young lady, you are love, what am I saying?
I am love.
I am love. It's right there. Health, happiness, love.
Health, happiness, and love.
Success, prosperity, and money.
Celia, they don't believe it.
Short-term memory.
They don't believe it. Okay. I want us to impregnate ourselves. Get pregnant. I mean, spiritually speaking. Ready?
Health, happiness, and love.
Success, prosperity, and money.
Health, happiness, love.
Success, prosperity, and money.
Now this time when you say it, and this will be probably the last time, shake. Make yourself feel it. Just, whatever you have to do to register it on your central nervous system, because it will respond. Does thinking change the way we feel?
Sure, of course.
Yep.
Yes. When one is scared, do you think differently?
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
So use this to make a difference in our lives. When Celia asked me to come back, I was very honored. Thank you again. For me, this is more than just a verbalization. Metaphysicians, we have to make a difference. Or don't be a metaphysician. The last verse, and then we're going to come back to health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, money. We have to decide if we're going to allow the world to continue to impregnate us. Who are you listening to? Whose information are you accepting? Somewhere it says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes, yes.
Health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, money. Live in that. And watch what happens. Just live in it. I live and move and have my being and all outer expression in health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. And inevitably, the law says, yes, you are. See, the law is an inevitable tendency. God will not be mocked. Whatever we put into this, we're going to get back. Metaphysicians, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, decide.
Health, happiness, and love.
Success,
Success, prosperity, money.